Today we're going to make this fun fall leaf card using a technique that's a little new to me called ghosting. So I'll walk you through the ingredients to make this card. And I did it in 3 different colorways or backgrounds. So I have the Tangelo Twist, the Wasabi, and then the Tip Top Taupe are the 3 different colorways that I did this card in. But you can use any, of course, any fall color. So we're going to start out by creating our leaves, and we're going to be using a ghosting technique. And for this, you'll need the leaf stamp, lighthearted leaf stamp that's found in our holiday catalog. And I use the 3 leaves, this large one here, this long one, and then this medium-sized one here, along with the sentiment, "Every leaf speaks bliss to me," on that. I also used 2 die cuts for my Big Shot, and one was the coordinating leaf framelits. So I used the 3 that coordinated with the size leaves. And then I used the Deco Label framelit. I used the small framelit to cut out a white, Whisper White cardstock, which I'm using for my leaves as well, for my sentiment. So to get started, you're going to want to take your Versamark stamp pad and one of your leaf stamps, and you're going to stamp that onto your Whisper White, and then with clear embossing powder, you're going to heat set that, and you'll get something that looks like this, which doesn't look like much, but I don't know if you can see it or not, if it comes up, but it's clear, you can feel it, it's glossy. So we're going to then take 3 different colors, and I have my Delightful Dijon, and we're going to create kind of a fall changed leaf look, and this is the ghosting technique. We have Mossy Meadow, and then we have Tangelo Twist. And again, you could use whatever fall colors you want. So we're going to take these along with our sponge applicator, pick up some color, and then I'm going to apply this, and the clear embossing powder will allow the stamped image to stay. And so you're just kind of coloring the background. And once you get all your fall colors rubbed in, you're going to take it to your die cut and cut it out. So you'll cut 3 for each card. This is kind of fun because you could play around with more yellow, more orange. You can introduce brown, whatever colors you want. So once you get it like that, then you can take it over to your die cut machine. You could cut it out and then use the sponge to apply your color. I found this is a little easier. You don't get as much on your hands because you're working with a larger surface. So once you have those 3 cut out, you can then take your sentiment, which you've used the Deco label to cut out in Whisper White. Going to take your sentiment, and I'm going to do it in Mossy Meadow this time around, and we're going to stamp that. So there we go, there's our sentiment, and I'm going to put my stamps away because I'm now done with my stamps. Our card base is the Whisper White cardstock cut in half, so it's your 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card based. And again, I have my 3 different colorways. I think for this one I'm going to do the Wasabi, which is one of my favorite greens in our collection. And I'm going to put this background on my card base, just using some Tombow adhesive here. And then I'm going to take a piece of book page. So I picked up at the Goodwill just a book, and I tear the pages out and I use them for different craft projects. One book goes a long way, I'll have to say, once you get over the fear of tearing a book apart. So what I do is I kind of put this on top of my page that I'm going to tear, and I kind of just tear around it like that. Once I have it torn to the size I want, I like to crumple it up and then flatten it back out. That just gives it a little more texture. And then I'm going to take the fine tip of my adhesive here and just put that on the back and put it right onto my card. Kind of squish it down, leaving some of that texture. And then to adhere your sentiment, I like to use the stamping dimensions so you can keep that kind of wrinkled and it just looks nice. So I'm going to pop out 2 is what I usually use, and put those on the back of my sentiment. And then I'm going to pick up my leaves. Now I like to put the 2 smaller leaves and glue those down first, and I like the stems to touch to create that background. So I'm going to put this one there and there. And again, I'm going to use the adhesive. I'm going to use the fine tip portion of the adhesive here to adhere the leaf down. And then I'm going to use, for the larger leaf that goes on top, I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. And again, I'm going to use 2 for those. So I'm going to put one here. And one there. And peel the top off there and stick him right on. Okay. So last but not least, I want to add just a little bit to this area here, and I take some linen thread and I just kind of loosely wrap it and create a bow. Now you could tie a nice neat bow, which I've done before. You could tie a single bow, whatever you want to do, but it just needs, I think, it just needs a little something on the edge there. And the way that I put this on, all right, I'm just going to tie a little bow, is I use the Crystal Effects. I have found that I like, with any 3D item like a button or like this linen thread here, I like to use this Crystal Effects because it dries clear and it really does grab and adhere. The other trick I have is I like to keep a straight pin handy because it does get a little clogged up top here. So I like to just take it, clear it out, and then you just need a small dot wherever you want your bow to be. And put your bow right on there. And then you can trim the length. And there's your Every Leaf Speaks Bliss to Me card. Thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial, and you can check me out at myredtrack.blogspot.com.